Morning everyone. I'd like to present some research I've done on the NASDAQ index, whether we're overbought or underbought at the moment, and answering that vital question: are we in a dot-com bubble? Should you be investing in this current time in your life, or should you not be investing? And I think the answer will become apparent. So as you can see here, this is the NASDAQ in the blue, the actual price, and you can see we've gone above this orange line, which is that if you took the price in 1985 and you compounded it at return of 13.3% every year, this is exactly where we are. So you can see that during the dot-com bubble we went quite a bit above this, and then we're quite above it now, but during the housing crash we went quite below it, and it took a little while to sort of go above this average again. I think this is sort of the COVID time, yeah. So COVID, we've got just a drop, and then we've gone back up again. But it's quite difficult because obviously this is an exponential graph. So let's put it onto a log scale, and you can see that straight off the bat, the dot-com bubble was quite a bit above this average compared to where we are now. So that sort of explains my point. Back in the dot-com bubble, we were 400% above that average, 13.3% return average, whereas at the moment we're only about 116. Only it's still overbought 116%, but it's not as extreme as the dot-com bubble in terms of those numbers. And why it's different is the dot-com bubble, if you actually look at the company's fundamentals, a lot of them they just had .com on the end, there were no earnings, there was no revenue. IPOs, so these are initial public offerings, which is when a company first goes onto the stock market, and the values of these were doubling on initial days and they didn't even have any good earnings or revenue behind the company. So we're in quite different times. Whereas today we've got these giant tech companies, we've got Tesla, we've got Meta, we've got Amazon, we've got Apple, and they have real earnings. Oh, we've got Nvidia. AI is massive at the moment. The AI boom is what everyone's talking about, and we're talking about AMD, Broadcom, I think it's called, and these kind of companies, and Nvidia. So they are making big profits. So the valuations are quite a bit above what you expect, but it's nowhere near what the dot-com bubble was, because they had no earnings at all. And this is backed up by the price to sales ratio of the NASDAQ. So again, in the dot-com bubble, we was sort of 7 to 8, whereas most companies are at the moment we're averaging sort of 4 to 4.5. And it's the same with the price to earnings ratio. Dot-com bubble was at 60 to 80, whereas today we're approximately 30ish. So again, not at dot-com bubble levels. Earnings growth versus the price growth. So the prices went up 3 to 400%, hence was 400% above that trend line, and the earnings were zero. Whereas now we earnings are going up, and the prices are going up. Obviously, it is again a little bit disproportionate, but at least we are making some profits. And back in 1999, the top 5 companies were not profitable at all. Whereas I said earlier on, Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, Meta, and Google, they're all earning lots of money. Another way of looking at this is the Shiller-Capes ratio. And you can see again today is lower than what it is, so it's not as elevated as it was at the dot-com bubble. And also the VIX, is this a VIX? I'd call it a VIX index, fatality index. It sits a lot lower. I should get you a separate graph, but if you type in VIX index onto Google, you can see it's quite low at the moment. It's not like a bubble as of yet. Again, IPOs, retail investment as well. It was a lot bigger. The debt was a lot more in the dot-com bubble. So as a general rule, I would say get invested at the moment in the NASDAQ. It might be slightly elevated, but long term we're going to go up. Short term though, obviously you never know what's going to happen. It's driven by macro economics, whether we're going to higher or lower. So I believe we will go, as I said on point 3, I believe we will go long term. We were bullish, but short term it's still unknown, to be honest. But you got to start investing, or as you'll never get the ball rolling, as it were. But always invest money you can afford to lose. Just invest it in the NASDAQ, invest it in the S&P 500, and forget about it. It's not fluid money, not liquid money. You can't just take it, invest it, and treat it as if it's written off money, and you won't go too far. Thanks for that, everyone. I hope that makes sense, and I thought I'd just share a bit of research I've done on the NASDAQ, and I hope it helps you. And if you have any other insights you want to share with myself or the channel, put a comment below. And if you have found it useful, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe if you found it useful. Thank you very much.